I got here probably about 10 minutes ago. Um, I really am amazed by just how things can go from bad to worse. Like sometimes I'll have a sort of a light at the end of the tunnel, be like, okay, well, this is not good, but there's this possibility of something coming up and it'll, you know, make things not as bad, but then another person will pull the rug from under you. I just find that really interesting, just how things can really just go nowhere but down. Um, in spite of what someone tries to do to make it not that way or, reverse it. Um, and like I said, I'm never gonna not think of it's crazy that the stuff that's happened in the last 6 or 7 months has gone on, because a lot of it is the result of the domino effect where it's like, hey, this one thing happened and that leads directly to this thing and that leads directly to that thing. Yeah, I already said what the policy for the stream will be. I'll talk for an hour. If no one shows up, then I'll get out of here. Had a really nice conversation with someone yesterday that I have to admit, I part of me kind of didn't want to end at all. Like, it ended when I fell asleep, but just speaking to them and having a little dialogue, because I guess what I always have to remind myself of is that people are often said to be complex. They're often said to be different from each other. They have their mixed set of emotions, but it's so rare for me, especially in recent years, to really have a person that I've not encountered before, like some entirely new person, and just sit down with them and kind of like sort of get to pick their brain or understand them better. They reveal some stuff about themselves. I say something about myself as well. It was just really nice to kind of feel comfortable with someone online like that, because I haven't felt that way, and it's been some years. I'll put it that way. So it was nice, and hopefully we'll be able to do it again. But you never know. Things are always so hit or miss on here. Oh, I'm never not going to be amazed by how much traffic you can have. Just at any hour of the day. Like sometimes you can drive somewhere and it could be 6 in the morning. There's like 8 cars on the road. Then it could be 7. There's like 15. When I got up this morning and was coming over here, and this drive is not that long. It's probably like 2 blocks. Like I don't even have to use a GPS or anything. I know where the street is. I just it's something that's ingrained in my mind at this point. But I was surprised by how many cars were in the way. Like I was really shocked that there was this much traffic just to go somewhere that was relatively not that far away. Yeah, I'm just looking at my conversation with them. It was really nice. I really was surprised by how much we got along. That was one dialogue that was real fun. Yeah, people are walking by and doing whatever little weird stuff they like to do, trying to get their coffee. I really think after this past Saturday, I'm probably not going to get anything from here again. Not even because I dislike it. I just the price tag of $6 for a drink that I don't find like it's large, but I mean when I'm sitting here just kind of just talking whatever, it usually goes away before we're done with our 2 hours. So I'll probably if I get it, it'll be really sporadic. Come in threes or fours, maybe like once a month. Or so all these coffee places just charge too damn much. Like I knew this one guy who used to make coffee at his house. He buy the ingredients from the store. Uh, and I get it. I completely understand. Like when I look at the prices that are associated with these places, it makes a lot of sense he would do that. Yeah, we're in an era where stuff is just. It really feels like the quality of the product can go down. The amount of people that even buy the thing can go down, but that price will always go up. So if you had something you like that was $3 before, get ready for it to be four. Still think it's really insane that what's that place? That Chick-fil-A went from having a shake that was like what was it, 250 to now it's like $5. And the size didn't increase at all. The same little small cup. I'm really not joking. If we ever got to a point where let's say you want a small shake, and everywhere you went it was $5 just to get the small shake, not large or extra. I'm really not joking when I say that. I probably would just start making my own damn shake at my house. Like it that if it got that bad where everywhere was like that, I would just all right, we're not buying this. Just like I said before, when I go to fast food places, which is now becoming very rare, I don't even get a drink anymore. It's usually just and sometimes not even fries. It'll just be the burger by itself. Stuff just costs too damn much. Especially for the drink, it's like $3 for them to stick like a half a can of soda with a bunch of ice in it, where half the thing is ice. I said before, you can go to the market and get deals of three big, I guess, liters of a like a soda for $5 sometimes. And it's like when you compare that, because I'm not going to drink a whole liter of soda in a day or even probably 2 days. So that realistically is enough of that drink to last you probably a whole week to 2 weeks, depending on how much of it you drink per day. But it's like you're paying an extra $1 on top of what you would pay to get that one little large drink or medium drink from the uh, fast food place. So really, it's just the more you start quantifying the numbers, the more the fast food places are ripping you off when you just think about this stuff and crunch it. There was a stream I watched a couple of years ago where there was a guy who was part of it's like some team on the internet where it's just these people hang out in a group and they call themselves I guess have it underlings like it's when people like run a server and they try to make it sound like they're in the mob or something. It's just little goofy stuff on the internet. But this guy was part of the group, and I guess after he left, he started saying that the group had mistreated him. Stuff he didn't say when he was an active member there. And my favorite quotation from the stream they did on him was where the lead guy was like, he decided to blow up in our face, so now this is blowing up in his. And like I just keep imagining, when they're in the VC with him or like finding out about his lies, their all their computers just explode. And then when they're doing their stream on him and he sees the stream, it's like his computer just blows up in front of him. Because I had a woman who I enjoyed speaking to, and she really upset me by abruptly just like cutting me off after I well, we've talked about this before, like the same old song, the same old was it the same old story, the same old song and dance, where one of them makes it seem like you're the most interesting person in the world, and then they just like quickly pivot to something else. Um, but I remember with that person in particular, it was that same thing of like, hey, you think I'm interested in speaking to you? Ha, I got you. And then they make it to where you can't talk to them anymore. So I did my video, and I didn't say this in the video, but the video did better than what I usually average. I was like, hey, they blew up in my face, so now this video is blowing up in theirs. I picture like my computer exploding when she made it where I couldn't speak to her anymore, and then when I put up my video and she sees it just on her like phone or computer. All this stuff is exploding. One of my favorite jokes is when someone tries to promise me something in text or over the phone. I'm like, hey, how do I know you're not uh what is it, crossing your fingers like this? Just how do I know you're telling the truth? Yeah, like I just have a hard time with the way these people act, I tell you. They will flip on you so fast. I mean, it's really not even funny. Like I'll laugh at a lot of this stuff because for me it's just sort of become a regular installment with regard to this just how people are. But a lot of these things are really crazy to me. Just the way that you'll really sit there and talk to somebody, and they'll ask you sometimes really personal stuff, or just even things that maybe aren't that personal, but they kind of like make you believe the person is interested in speaking to you or whatever. And then after a couple of days, a couple of weeks, even maybe a little bit over a month, they flip on you. Somebody's walking through here. It's actually always thing I'm most concerned about when I park in one of these spots. Just being like I'm in the line as far as where I am. It should be to where people can get out and get in or whatever. But yeah, for me, I just hate when I try to park somewhere and then it's hard to do that because they have their cars set up to where they're like really close to each other and you can't get out. I mentioned before, people nowadays are really rude. They can like just they can smack a car with their own and just not even care. Like whatever. Oh, I hit your car. Okay, who cares? No big deal. Doesn't mean anything to me. Then I have this person I try to do an errand for a few times a week, or I guess for most of the week. And I tried to tell them, hey, I've got this thing coming up. I call them on Saturday just to kind of like try and explain to them what's happening, and they don't answer. And that's a thing I've noticed where, and this they're not the first person to do this. Where like if you can offer a service to someone, they're very receptive, they're picking up their phone, blah, 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 blah. But if you have something you need to tell them, or hey, there's this thing that's important with me, they can't be bothered to answer, and it's really sad. Or get back to you because I called and then there was just no reply Saturday, and there was no attempt to speak on Sunday either, apparently. So I should do that too, right? Where they call me and just I don't answer for the whole day. So stuff like that really upsets me because it's like, again, it really shows you that if you are not to what someone deems as important for that particular day or that particular moment, they will just discard you like whatever. Like, oh, this person called me and wanted to talk. Well, too bad. What picture is this? Oh, I see the picture. Okay. God, I had a whole segment on my last stream about how when I look at a lot of people that are like under 40 or 50, I'm starting to really notice a trend where most of the ones who, and it does, and I keep saying that this is not even me trying to like quantify data or say something as a fact, but I'm noticing that when I see someone who is truly overweight, nowadays it usually is a woman. Like there are what people deem to be not in shape or whatever, but like specifically the ones who have kind of a larger type of stuff around the arm and sort it's that's just something I'm noticing more and more is specific to women. Like I've started picking up on when there's excess levels of obesity, it seems to really just be females. Um, and we've also talked about a few statistics that come to mind, but there was one that just walked past me. Yeah, it's funny how people do a lot of nasty things with regard to like the way they talk about men. Oh, you need to do this to make yourself look better. But honestly, and I've been very clear about this, there are a lot of chicks that I'm just not interested in, and it could be a basis of personality, it could be appearance, but like I said, I'll never believe in the idea that they as a collective are this great amazing group of people who are all so breathtakingly attractive that I could never dare to bask in their presence without just all the little like weird stuff people say to try and hype them up is what I just won't buy into. This guy is standing over here cursing at somebody on the phone. Very, very angry. Which I wouldn't even care, but it's just like how close he was to the car, and like sometimes I can get in trouble for something somebody else said or did on my stream. I am noticing that. Well, I've always noticed this pattern where people will have like a key and they'll have it dangling from their pocket, which I don't know. For me, I always thought was kind of goofy because I'd be worried of the like chain part coming out or something, or like getting stuck on something. But they can do what they want. This whole thing is so crazy to me. Oh man. Yeah, just watching the line over here. It's always interesting. They really don't bring out the person to take your order until a certain hour of the day. So when I come at in instances where I've come at, let's say, 6 or 7 and be like, hey, I want this. They never have anyone there that takes my order, but then after I leave, they're like, oh God, let's dust this person off and have them go stand outside. Say I'm the only person in the world that could be like unemployed and still be expected to pay rent monthly and then have it doubled from what it was before. And, when I agreed to that, it was because I really did think at the time for what I felt was a good reason that it would be a temporary thing because of some, let's just say, some stuff that was supposed to like line up that I was told about, but then there's like another person trying to screw me out of something that was granted to me. So it's just a cycle of trash is really all it is. Like just people saying one thing and then doing the other. Always looking for a way to jip you out of something. That's what I said. It's all just insane. Person came up here on a bicycle. Love it when YouTube tells me about my own stuff. It's like, hey, did you know you're streaming on your own channel? Like, no, really? Yeah, I ordered some tape off of Amazon and I was gonna go and pick it up from this thing. And there's one person, they're like, oh, why would you order stuff and send it to the hub or whatever the locker thing is? I'm like, well, it's very simple. When you buy something and people can't be bothered, if they use it as well, to never reimburse you or buy it themselves, I think you have a legitimate reason to feel like, okay, well, damn, if everyone's going to use this, but no one's going to buy it except me, then I guess I'll just use it on my own. This is a nice looking woman, nice slender frame, decent height. Kind of wish this thing wasn't here so I could look at her a little bit longer. They have this little, I guess, thing connected to the building that blocks the my viewing of her. She had this fuchsia jacket that was on. It was kind of it was nice. Mm. Always have to remind myself I have so many errands to run. It's like drive here, drive there, drive here, pick this up from here. Yeah, I'm trying to renew my car insurance. because this city is too damn dangerous to drive around without insurance. That's like a death wish. So she's another one of those people that came and that ordered before getting here and then just came to pick it up. So I have the same group of annoyances who are like, "You're gonna have to get a job. You're gonna have to get a job. You're gonna have to get a job." I'm like, Jesus Christ, you people really drive me insane. Like, I was thinking about the homeless saga, and it's the one thing that I thoroughly enjoyed, as much as everything else wasn't great or good, was not having someone like be able to just stick their finger in my face and tell me what to do. Um, because I really was the point where it was like, okay, now, and when I say this, I don't use it in the same way that people online do, but I was at the point of now nothing truly matters. I'm not paying any rent anywhere because I'm not staying with anyone anywhere. So no no one has any authority to try to say go do this, go, because they can't do anything. Their power has been removed. Yeah, the nice looking woman that just drove past me, at least from what I saw of her anyway. She had that the hair where you can tell it was originally black and they have like dark roots, and then the brown, or I guess blondish color that's on top of it. But yeah, that was the one good part about that saga. Just no orders from anybody. Don't eat this. Don't drive there. Don't go here. No, that was all gone. And like I said, I'm not even the person who usually gets really irritated by that stuff, but it's just one of those things where it's very cathartic to walk away from I guess the ways that people act. Like I said before, like most relatives do not care about the people they're related to. They don't call them. They don't see how they're doing. Uh, just nothing. Just we have the same blood supposedly, but we have nothing in common and no actual concern for the well being of this person that we are related. We happen to be related to. Um, it's and my thing is like the ones over here are so much worse because I feel like there's just a general understanding of, hey, these people may be related to each other, but they don't care, they don't know each other, whatever. But with a lot of the ones over here, they'll sit there and they'll swear up and down they love this person, they care so much about them, etc., etc. But when you actually watch what they do and how they act, it's not congruent with or consistent with what they say. Unfortunately, at a certain point, it really does seem like they're just telling themselves something so that they can feel better about their own lie. Trying to just because we've talked before about how in psychology there's a thing where if someone keeps saying something to another person, it oftentimes or can rather be done with the purpose of trying to get the person saying it to believe it versus the people they're talking to. Oh, I gotta go up to this thing. I got like 3 stops to make. I'm just trying to think of which ones, like what order they can be done in. I guess it really doesn't matter because they're all like relatively close to each other. Just I want to get the stream out the way because I always try to do it before the smaller stuff. I'm the kind of person where I'd rather do something that's the biggest before the smallest things, because when you get the biggest out of the way, the I guess most challenging, um, then you don't have to worry as much. It's just more, like you've got it's like this big avalanche that kind of all came tumbling down. So person's walking over here. See somebody over there walking around. I hate how the gas station right here is like set up to where you have to basically look both ways to even get over it. It's one of those things where somebody will drive left and the other one will drive right. No, the title is a parody of this stupid comment somebody left. You are biased and are not in favor of new blood. Okay, whatever. Believe what you want. Most people disagree with you. Like, according to what? If the guy that you're sucking off so much was so popular, he wouldn't be polling 40 points behind the actual person winning. Like, how does that work? Most people disagree with me, but then the person that you're saying is so popular is losing, and not even by like a tiny margin, or maybe like within a couple of points, by 40 points. He is the best candidate ever. Man, recency bias it exists in everything. Like, you'll have some person that's running for office, and it mostly happens when people run for president, because we've established that for some reason a lot of presidential campaigns are built around the cult of personality and being part of someone's team versus any actual ideas that the candidate may espouse. Um, and it's really creepy how, like, you'll have someone running and they'll get some group of people. Sometimes it's a big group, sometimes a small group, but they'll get some group of people who just blindly worships them like they're the second coming of Christ. To where if you criticize them, because usually they can't respond to anything you actually say, so they just start talking about how great the person is in the abstract. Like, if I said, "Hey, this person has a healthcare plan that will leave 30 million people uninsured. Uh, he knows what he's doing, and he's been an expert in this field for years." It's like, yeah, but that doesn't respond to what I actually said in the video. Like, a lot of them have gotten to a point now where instead of addressing what I'm saying, they just say the audio is low, volume too low. And my thing is, sometimes if I do a video, just recording it off the computer, that can happen. But the other issue is that I'm not going to go into my editor, or I guess in the iMovie, and bump up the audio 400% or to some much louder degree just to have like 10 people watch it. So I really don't care one way or the other. Like, it's loud enough for people to hear it if they actually just put it on full volume or put it to their ear. Like, it's basically, if there are multiple people who watched that and didn't say that, I know they're full of crap. But yeah, I'm not about to go to the lengths of like making a specific thumbnail and editing the volume out. It's not worth it. Too few views to care. Yeah, I think foreign countries have been they've sucked from the American poison. Like, I've seen people pushing the passport uh, crap, and having had the encounters I've had with women from other regions, it's really a joke that anyone still believes that they're different. But whatever floats people's boats, I guess. Western women, American women. It's like, yeah, keep telling yourself those foreign ones are better. That reminds me of that one time somebody posted a picture of what the drink Fanta looks like in the US, and I think it was another country where it's orange over here. It's like a dark orange, but then in some other country, it looks almost like orange juice, where it's like a lighter orange, but it still tastes the same. It's like, yeah, the chicks in other countries might make you think they're different by the way they speak or some other, nebulous thing. But as far as the like beat for beat actions, it is identical. Yeah, they make me annoyed. Just I guess it's gonna take a long time before people wake up with that stuff. They're never gonna pick it up, or if they do, it's gonna be a very long time. With a lot of wasted money and a lot of wasted time. Hey, Akatsuki merchant, I realize one of the new troll tactics is to say the audio is too low or the volume is too low. So it used to be people coming and saying like, "Oh, you're an idiot," and and there was some of that on that video. I have to admit, there was like some guy that said, "This I thought YouTube administered an IQ test, but for some kind of stupid thing." But most of it was, "I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you." I didn't even know that was like a really popular thing that they do now. Because what I've said before is YouTube has really cracked down on a lot of the stuff people used to feel like they could write to somebody and get away with. Telling somebody to end their own life, and you're this, and all this little like nasty personal remarks. So now they have to look for other ways to be obnoxious. Like, okay, I can't tell this person that they're ugly anymore, so let me say that their audio is too low, even though everybody else that saw the video besides me and these 7 people can hear it. But okay. Akatsuki merchant, I can't read your comment. It's too well written. My screen is too dark. I could turn up the brightness, but I don't feel like it. Can't believe they really do that. They really sit there and they're like, "This volume is too low." Or everybody else heard it. Well, maybe my ears are the best. They're too low though. And people lie like there is no tomorrow. And they did all that just to save face for Vivek. All of that for him. YouTube is very inconsistent and about what is worthy of banning. Well, yeah, but I'm saying that if you go back to 5, 6, 7 years ago, it was like the Wild West in these damn comment sections. Like people felt like they could write whatever they wanted. And now it's like they've really had to moderate themselves. Again, it's not perfect. There are still people that write obnoxious BS. Like it was that guy's name Jove or whatever, that the one that was in the triangle scam video. Um, but they're nowhere near as bad as they used to be, as far as like they won't say things as insulting as they did before because they know YouTube will come down and crack on them. I mean, I do ignore them. I didn't respond to a single one of them Because I already know the thing is the way this site works is you'll have a video where maybe there's a title that someone doesn't like or is intrigued by, and if the person doesn't agree with what you're saying, oftentimes they won't respond directly to what's being said. They'll just throw a hissy fit, and talk about something unrelated or vaguely related to it. But usually, with 99% of them, once they leave their dumb comment, they don't come back ever. So they show they don't matter. There are literal videos of terrorists beheading prisoners in the Middle East, but I call some guy an ignoramus and YouTube go, yeah, you can't do that. You're hurting his feelings. I mean, Kotsky Merch, did you think you could just sit here and be a cyberbully and nobody would notice? You know, this is the anti-bully era. So we better not see any more nasty comments out of you. I do wish when I call people they would answer the damn phone. That sure would be nice. Instead of always having to sit here and reach back to them and call them back and all the rest of that stuff. Call them over and over. According to YouTube, saying mean words to grown men online is much more worse than terrorists beheading people. What a clown world we live in. We already talked before about how I have these like relatives, and it's not that many of them, but they do this like grandstanding thing where if you say you hope something bad happens to somebody, they'll get mad at you, or they'll tell you not to say that because, oh, if you wish bad on someone, then something bad, even though that's actually not how karma works. You have to do something to have it happen. But it's like they'll be completely fine with all the nasty stuff that's said about you that people have done to you, and like only after it's just one of those things where it's like they don't understand what purport what like retribution is, where like if I go up and I call a Kotsky merchant a mean name, I can then expect that the Kotsky merchant will respond in kind. He will call me a mean name as well. I can't expect him to then, after being insulted, stick his hands in his pockets and go, well, I guess I won't insult you back. I told him they can go there with that morality police stuff. I'm not a fan of that at all. I'm gonna just call you whatever I want, and then I'll be surprised if you insult me back and go, "Oh my god, how could he say this?" Man, there's a real whiplash of the weather where it'll be really cold, and then all of a sudden it starts warming up. Oh, this person is actually going to work. Who would have guessed? That'd be really funny if they're actually like very angry that I went to sleep. They're like, how dare you end our dialogue? We were supposed to talk all night and all day long. I don't think they are. I just think that'd be funny. People do that though. They're used to someone talking trash back to them, either because they're surrounded by doormats or uh, they just get ignored. Oh yeah, a lot of people will go on someone's video and it's like if you directly respond to them, they will clutch their pearls. It's really funny. He called me an idiot. Well, what did you call him before that? And then that, you know, just it's like they really didn't think you would insult them back or even respond to them. Because a lot of them are used to they're used to going on these giant channels with loads of subs where a lot of the people running them just don't care one way or the other what happens in the chat or not in the chat in the comment section. So if you directly respond to one of them, it like blows their mind. He wrote this about me. Well, I'm gonna push back against you very soon. I'm gonna expose you. When I'm through with you, you're gonna be known as the mediocre merchant, as the person that sells subpar materials and goods. So one of my favorite streams is still what was it, World Without Heroes 2 or 3, where the guy said I was a mediocre man for not going, like, why be content with being mediocre? I'm like, dude, you're over there hiding behind a football player's picture that you stole, and you're gonna talk about the way somebody else looks. Like, give me a break. I'm not even joking. That's like epic level clown stuff right there. Like you have to be a real idiot to try and body shame someone else, and then you over there hiding your face. I thought that was hilarious and creepy, but it's just, could you imagine as a heterosexual man just like watching some other guy and just like observing his neckline and how far along you think he is with regard to what his weight, like, is, you don't think that's weird? But they really did that creepy stuff. And I'm telling you, man, there is a very strong correlation between the people who have the nastiest things to say about the way somebody else looks are always hiding their face. Almost every time that happens, it's that way. I was talking to someone yesterday, and they told me about being online and having some guy that would keep talking about how ugly they were. It's like, yeah, this is what they do. They hide their face while talking about yours. Almost every instance. And then sometimes the few times they don't do it, usually they're not what they advertise. Like we had the guy talking about go and do 500 push-ups a day, that crazy crap. You look at him, his picture is deliberately from an angle where you can only see his face and not any of the rest of him. If he's in so much damn good shape, shouldn't we be seeing the muscles too? But he didn't put up that picture because the muscles don't exist. I guess unless he photoshops them. You get my point. There's just too many lies that get told and too much grandstanding and pretending to be something that they're not. It's really sad that people are like this, I have to admit. And they pretend to have an objective standard of beauty when that standard is based on social biases. But yeah, but my thing is, it's like I just couldn't imagine being like just as a straight, like as a man who's attracted to women, sitting around online observing and analyzing the bodies of other men. Like I think that's weird. And I swear to you, in all the years of being on the internet, I have never once sat back, turned on a video where some guy is talking and be like, hmm, Do I think he's pretty enough to be with a woman? I wonder. It's just I just think it's weird. That's why I said there's a lot of homoerotic subtext. I just think the internet has really brought out the stranger parts of these people. Like, dude, there are women of all ethnicities, body types, personalities that men go after, but you want to pretend there's one universal standard of beauty as though the gods themselves inscribed it. And usually it's a standard they can't even measure up to, and that's why they hide their own damn face. But you get the idea. The whole thing is just so insane to me because it's like they really sit there, like trying to. I mean, dude, like imagine just again, imagine this from their perspective. You see some guy who you're apparently not attracted to, but you're like worried about his love life and what he looks like. So you make it your mission to try and give him unsolicited advice. And then when he says, "Hey, I'm not interested," instead of just walking away like a normal person would, you go and start like trying to argue with it. It's weird. Mm. But yeah, I have been noticing they don't come around as much as they used to, and I think a lot of that has to do with YouTube's ever adjusting terms of service. Where I do believe a lot of that stuff is just them being like, "Hey, we're sick of this." They've gotten enough complaints, and now they might actually finally do something. Like I said, I don't feel bad for these people at all because I just don't think a normal person would do this stuff where they just sit around and. I mean, we've established just how weird this is, man. It's crazy. Mm, mm. All these damn replies. It's so interesting how we can go from it being so cold as to where I can just have the window up with no problem, and then it'll get really warm like in the course of an hour. That's just how the weather is over here. They try to gaslight you into thinking that you're crazy or unintelligent if you don't follow their specific advice. They desperately need to be the ultimate arbiter. Wait, but you understand that like you have no power over someone that you don't even know. Like I could go online, I could say people who don't read are really dumb, ignorant, and lazy. But even if I try to like specifically get one person to do it, it's still ultimately going to be their choice. I can't force them to go to like bend to my will. So the idea that these guys have that if you just keep writing the same stupid stuff and trying to argue with me, it's going to make me go, "Oh, I've now seen the error of my ways." It's a joke. God, here's another one, man. This woman has a dumpster truck on her backside. Like, Jesus. And like I said, I'm not saying any of this to insult anyone but I swear I'm noticing where, like, if you have people for years talking about going to the gym, and then you see women, like, not even one, not two, but dozens of them every week that are overweight, then I don't know how anyone sits there and tells you about how you need to shape up or ship out. It's just a joke, man. I tell you, I've seen so many instances. Like, I remember in Family Guy, they had the joke of, why would someone as skinny as Lois be with someone as big as Peter? But it feels like I'm seeing the reverse gender version of that in real life all the time, where there'll be some guy who either is just skinny or has muscles, whatever, and then you see his girlfriend, and she's like, let's just say on the heavier side, and that ranges from just being a little bit to just giant. Uh, and I'm just, I don't understand how people can try to insult me over that, and then these very same people are right here. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't tell someone you need to feel ashamed of what you look like, and then be completely fine when the same group of people that you're trying to defend are way worse. Like, what is that? Well, that's why my friend said that the guys that believe in trying to, like, get me to change my ways are they're the male equivalent of those chicks that think they can, remember, like, they can change the bad boy if they date him, and like, do whatever, like that's what they're analogous to. God, I swear. Oh man. Let's see here. Authorities chasing vehicle on SoCal Freeway. Authorities in pursuit of stolen vehicle. And okay, well, I don't know if I'm gonna actually watch that stuff. By the time I'm finished streaming, it'll probably be over anyway. So I guess I'll just have to watch the replay. Man, it is getting warm in here. So I said the weather will never not be fascinating to me. Just how you can have it be cold as ice at like 6 or 7 in the morning, and then it's just beaming with heat at 10 or 11. That weather can be awful. Yeah, dudes are not as picky about their partners people try to make it seem. I've seen dudes with girls I don't find attractive one bit, but I'm not gonna crap on them for it. Well, that's not my point. I don't care who anyone dates because it doesn't affect me. I'm just simply saying that it's interesting to see how men are often said to be shallow, but then they're like open to all these different types of chicks. Like, I've said before, men will date, like, men as a collective will pretty much date anything that has a triangle on it. Like, you could have a Martian come down from another planet, obviously, and then if it's a female, Like if it just has chest melons and like the triangle, they'll date it. Because like I said, men don't have standards. They just don't. Some of us do, but in general, we're open to pretty much anything. With chicks, it's pretty much the total opposite, where it's like, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. I just get tired of it because it's like, look, let's just close the book altogether. Man, I got so much dumb stuff to do today. I'm not even joking, like 4 or 5 different errands to run. Between going to the market and getting some gas and well, anyways, I'm gonna go do this stuff because I'm not really in that best of the moods today. Like there's a lot of horrible things that are gonna happen this week, just with the way that stuff is turning out already. Um, and it looks like we might get a sequel to the homeless saga, unfortunately, depending on how these things turn out. So I hope not, but who knows? I'll keep you posted. What else can I say here? Like I said, I'll come back on Saturday and share if anything major has happened since then, which I assume there probably will be. But yeah, where's my damn mouse? Thanks for showing up, Kotsky Merchant, and I'll see you again hopefully on Saturday. I'll stream again on Saturday no matter what, but you might not show up, so there's that. See you.